In our last video, we created a blank project POP and we introduced README file to store all our test intentions, goals, and objectives. Now we want to add version control to our project and we want to both pack it up and share it online with other people. The goal is to be able to work and collaborate with other team members on our awesome project POP, right? So to achieve this goal, we will do two things. Number one, we will add Git as a distributed version control system. Number two, we will add GitHub as a cloud backup and collaboration platform, right? So without any delays, let's just get started with it. As a first step, let's go to our repository and our project. If you look into the folder, you can see we only have one file. I mean, if you want to cross check, if you open the repository, we see we only have one file, which is a README file. If we open VS Code also shows that there's no version control system available. In fact, it tells you if you want to add a version control system, you can either initialize repository with Git or you can directly publish your project to GitHub, which will basically do both things, initializing repository and publishing your project to GitHub. But to see other ways of doing it, maybe let's just go to terminal and see how we can do it from the terminal. So it's very easy to initialize a project with Git. All you have to do is git init, right? And with this, Git has initialized your project with a version control system. And now if you go back to your repository, you will see that you have a .git folder which contains all the files and all the things that Git needs to version control your project. From this moment on, any file that you add in your project is available for version controlling, right? Also, if let's say you go back to VS Code, you see that the message is gone because now you already have Git on your project, and Git is now showing you, if you click on this, that you have one file which is available, for version control. So let's stage our file and let's say initial commit, added a README file to project, right? With this, we have achieved our first goal, that is to have Git as a version control system. We also saw how we can, how we added our first commit. Now let's look at the second goal, and that is to use a cloud client such as GitHub or Bitbucket to back up our project, which could also be a platform eventually to do collaboration with other team members, right? So to do this, let's just go to GitHub and let's go to GitHub. Let's log in, and all you have to do is just click on this, add a new repository, give the same name as what we have in local. Let's give the description as a journey to move from ugly code to less ugly code. It's like one of my leads, Tiago Rees, he used to say all code is ugly code, and the goal is to make it less ugly. And yeah, that's also what we will try to do in our project POP. We will take some ugly examples and then eventually we will try to come up with more readable tests and more maintainable code. We want to keep our repository as public. It says initialize this repository with these files, but skip this step if you're importing an existing repository, which is exactly what you're doing. So we will be skipping these steps, but just for our information, let's see what these files are. We already know what README file is, we added it into our project. Now .gitignore is a very important file and it helps solve some important problems, but we have not yet seen those problems, so we'll not add it, right? Adding a license can be useful when you want other people to be able to use your work. At this moment, we don't have enough in our project, so we'll also skip this step. So for now, we'll just say create repository. Now Git is trying to help you. It is saying, if you are trying to start with an empty repository, these are the steps that you can follow. But we belong to this category because we already have our project, right? So what we have to do is we have to follow these steps. Let's copy this. Let's go back to the terminal. and let's paste this. Oh, let's go back, copy this, go back to terminal and paste it. With this, now we have a remote added, which is origin. Now let's start working on the branch. If you add branch, currently we are on the master branch, right? Let's switch to VS Code because working with VS Code is super convenient. So if you go to VS Code, you can see you are on the branch master. If you say git branch, clear screen, git branch, it says you are on the branch master. Well, nowadays there's a convention that Git wants to rename all these master branches, to main branches. And I think that's exactly is what GitHub is also telling us to do. So it is saying rename this branch from master to main, right? Let's copy this. And now you see the master branch was now changed to main branch. If you do git branch again, you don't have master anymore. You have main. It's renamed. Now with this command, you can actually push your changes to your remote. But before that, maybe we can do that. Let's do that. Let's copy this. Let's go back to VS Code and let's push our changes. Let's go back to GitHub and see, refresh the page. You see, our readme file is here. Now, if you're the only person who's going to work on this project, the only command that you really need to know is this command, git push, what you just used. That's it. So for example, let's say if you want to add some more thing to your readme file, if you want to add a new file, that's also possible. And maybe for now, let's just say we want to add a setup step, and we're saying for new users, if you want to clone this project to your local, do this. And then you can say git clone, and if you go back to GitHub repo, you can go to the main code, you can see code, you can copy this, right? Go back to code, give this URL, and let's try to add this step. Let's commit this and say add added setup info to readme file. And now, if you're the only person working on this project, the only thing that you need to do is git push. If you go back to GitHub, you will see that your project is getting continuously backed up, right? Depending on all the changes that you want to push to remote, they are available in remote. But again, this is not how you'll work within a team. If you're the only person working on your hobby project, this is fine. But if you're working with 2 or more people, this is not how you work. So maybe in the next video, what I can do is we can for example, we can see that the test objectives, they are not formatted well, right? So as a next exercise, I can try to see if I can find a friend, with whom I can show you how to collaborate on a Git project with 2 or more people. But for now, I think we have achieved both our goals. So we now have a version control system in our project. We also can now back up our project into GitHub. So we have achieved both of our goals. And in the next video, we'll learn about collaboration. So I hope you learned something useful in this video. And I look forward to see you guys again in my next video, which is about using Git as a collaboration tool. So with this, I wish you a very good day or night, depending on whatever part of world you are in. And until next time, see you. Take care. Bye-bye.